up, y'all? LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. Today, it is Black History Month. Yes, so if you don't like it, you might not like me for the rest of this month, so you might want to leave and come back in March, because it's about to get black, y'all. Alright, so we're going to start it off right. Today, we're going to talk about Mr. Fred Moore. Mr. Fred Moore is the first African-American honor guard in the U.S. Army. Alright, so let's get into Mr. Moore, because Mr. Moore, back in this time, really has done something that was really unprecedented at that time. Back then, the military really was not as integrated as it is nowadays, so to see somebody like Mr. Moore doing what he did was really, truly a taboo and a monumental accomplishment. So let's get right into it. Alright, so Mr. Fred Moore is the first African-American tomb guard in the U.S. military. So Mr. Fred Moore was drafted into the Army in 1959. At first he wasn't happy about it because Mr. Moore had a job and he didn't really want to go join the military at this time. 1959, you got racial tensions going on, you got segregation going on, you know, Vietnam is starting to creep up into the question. And then at the time with him working, he didn't really want to go into the military anyway. He said he had 3 older brothers who had joined the service, and the advice they gave him was be quiet, shut your mouth, and don't volunteer for anything. So when Mr. Moore was drafted and he was in basic training, you know, he was going through doing his thing like a good soldier, and his officers took notice of him because of his high test scores, his physical stature being at 6'1", 185, and just being a good soldier and doing everything he was supposed to do and told to do at the highest of his abilities. So that right there really captured the attention of his leadership. So while he was still in basic training, his leaders came to him and said, hey, we would like for you to be part of the honor guard. Of course, Mr. Moore had no idea what the honor guard was and what the honor guard did. So the officer explained to Mr. Moore that the honor guard, the 3rd Infantry Brigade, was called the Old Guard. Among its duties, the Old Guard protected the tomb of the unknown soldier. The tomb is on a hilltop in Arlington National Cemetery. Come hell or high water, these spit-shine troops faithfully perform their duties. So if you've ever been to the Arlington National Cemetery, you will see the guys walking. You know, they'll do their little cadence, they're clicking their heels, turning. Everything is very choreographed and well thought out. And these guys are hella focused on their job. So if you ever get a chance to go out there and see it, you really should. Alright, so based on that knowledge, Mr. Moore accepted the offer and was then transferred to become training as an honor guard. So while he was training for an honor guard, he quickly became well known in his company, not for just being a good soldier, but also being the only black soldier in his company. But despite that, he was still held to a high regard by his officers and his peers for his job, doing a good job and performing his duties at the best of his abilities. Alright, and so soon after being part of the honor guard, Mr. Moore, being the only black person, being the only black soldier in his company, would soon come to his benefit. One day, President Kennedy and the president of Ghana, I'm sorry I can't pronounce his name, put it down here, from Africa, they came down and they looked at the tomb of the unknown soldier. While they were laying a wreath on the tomb of the unknown soldier, the Ghanaian president had asked Mr. Kennedy, why were there no soldiers here of color? So shortly after that statement by the Ghanaian president, Mr. Moore was directed to report to the tomb of the unknown soldier to start training as a guard for the tomb. So Mr. Moore says, despite being the only black African American in that company, nobody else treated him any differently, and he was treated just like everybody else. So on the morning of March 1961, Mr. Fred Moore took his first steps on that marble floor of the tomb of the unknown soldier, thus effectively breaking all racial lines and color lines in the U.S. military. Again, no African Americans had ever become part of the honor guard or ever done something like this. So Mr. Moore right now is really setting the standard and breaking all kind of lines. Right? So there was what Mrs. Moore's buddies did, because they knew what was going on. Fred Moore honestly didn't know what was really happening. To him, he was just doing his job. He was completing the mission. This was something he was tasked with, and he was going to do it to the best of his abilities. But with his buddies, they knew what was going on, and they told him after his shift that, hey, you were the first person to break the color lines to do this. Everybody who's done this has been white. You are the first person who it hasn't been to do this. And so it was a huge monumental thing. But even then, Mr. Moore still didn't understand how big of an accomplishment this was until he went back to his reunion with his Toon buddies, and there was a whole lot of fuss, a lot of commotion, and then that's when he found out that he was the first African American soldier to become the honor guard and to serve at the tomb of the unknown soldier. And when he found out, Mr. Moore says, it was never about making history, just completing the mission. It was a job that I was given, and I just considered it a great honor, said Moore. I was always of the mindset that if I was given something to do, I was going to do it to the best of my ability. So, and he says this too. Moore's greatest wish, however, is that soldiers today do not dwell on his monumental accomplishment, but find an inner drive in themselves. I hope it gives them the confidence that they can do anything they set their mind to, said Moore. I'm not anything special. Certainly if I can do certain things, they are capable of doing even greater. Alright, so today we want to give a thank you to Mr. Fred Moore for standing out, breaking the color lines, and for willfully and gratefully doing his duties and making America a greater place than what it was, breaking color lines, setting the standard for things. So I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Fred Moore, and hopefully you enjoyed this Black History video. I'm definitely going to do more of them. Definitely enjoy these. I love history. So guys, like, comment, subscribe. Wakanda patch is now being sold. Link in the description box. So get you a Wakanda patch. WakandaNation.com if you want to support Wakanda Nation. LocsNLoadFirearms if you want to support the YouTube channel. If you want to get training from me or ask me consultation questions, LocsNLoadFirearmInstruction.com. Alright, and also if you want guns, ammo, gear, and also sweet deals, join my Patreon page and you will get that there. On top of that, guys, thank you for watching the video. Stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.